Houston, we're all about culture, music, and live performances. And there's a great one coming up. The Apollo Chamber Players are bringing With Malice Toward None to Miller Outdoor Theater, a multimedia concert inspired by Abraham Lincoln's famous words and what they mean today. It features music from composers like Black Vietnam veteran J. Kimo Williams, with special guests like Houston Poet Laureate Emeritus Deborah Deaton Luton. Catch it live on August 22nd. Free tickets are available starting August 21st at milleroutdoortheater.com.
The British International School of Houston is an international and diverse private school with top academic results in a state-of-the-art 32-acre campus. From PK3 through 12th grade, students build pathways to the world's best universities through excellent results in internationally recognized qualifications. Guiding them are teachers who are global talents. Interested in learning more about the British International School of Houston? Search BIS Houston online and get in touch with their admissions team. And you can also join them for their upcoming open house by registering online. Today on CityCast Houston, in recent years, Houston has been listed as one of the top destinations for Gen Zers. But what about Gen X and millennials like me? We're going to find out which generation has it best right now in H-Town. It's Thursday, August 21st. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about. All right, I've got Jim Kovacik from Houston Public Media with me and producer Carlignon Jones. But before we get into this great debate about which generation has it best, I got to know, which generation are y'all repping? Jim, you go first.
I think I'm Gen X. I'm pretty sure. I definitely part of that whole 80s, 90s thing and living the life. And I'm Gen X and I'm proud to be Gen X.
Nice. Perfect. How about you, Carly?
I'm the best generation, Gen Z. I think we're, taking over the world right now. So, pop my collar right there.
We'll talk about this. And I'm going to be representing the millennials. I'm proud to be a millennial, even though when the term was announced, I was like, ooh, millennials are old. And fast forward, here we are. I'm old. Jim, I'm old.
Oh, wait, no. If you're old, that makes me really old. So you're not old. You're not old. Yes.
No comment. As I mentioned before, there are all these studies and reports that show Gen Z loves Houston. Last year, it was in the top 3 destinations for Gen Zers to move. And before that, it was number 1. So Carly, why is Houston so great for Gen Z right now?
I feel like there's a lot of reasons. I think that, for one, Houston is one of those affordable cities, and you can go and establish yourself in Houston. So there's just so much to do here also that just really makes it a lively city to be a part of. I think it's one of those places you can go and thrive instead of survive. So, there's so many places you're just trying to make rent in the United States, the New Yorks and the LAs of the world. But when you come to Houston, you can pay your rent and also enjoy your life. So I think that that's one of the main reasons we come here. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Jim, how do you feel about the Gen Xers?
Well, I'm old enough to have a kid that's a millennial and a Gen Z.
Oh, wow.
So yes, I've had kids in 2 different generations there. So, I love both. I mean, the millennials, you guys grew up with, participation trophy kind of attitude a little bit,
Oh, come on.
I think all the Gen Zers in my house, they're more grounded and worried about, saving money and kind of this not saying millennials don't, but she seemed that they're really grounded. My daughter just started a teaching job.
By the way, Houston was ranked number 1 for Gen Xers based on these migration trends from a couple of years ago. So it's really good for Gen Xers as well. And millennials came in at number 4. So sounds like it's a pretty good city for everyone. So we're going to go through some categories and we'll explain why Houston is good for each of our generation, or if it's not. Be honest with me, okay? At the end of each category, we're going to pick a winner amongst ourselves, and then we'll crown a generational champion, which, spoiler alert, it's going to be millennials. I'm just telling you right now, because we are the best and we are taking advantage of what Houston has to offer. So let's start with this one. I want to know where you hang out. Where does your generation hang out right now? Carly, you go first.
I mean, we're in our 20s. So, I mean, of course, we go to the nightlife. Like, people travel to party, and it's just like a really big thing now. But we also do a lot of concerts. A lot of us like to do like interactive experiences. I know, like, when my friends' birthdays come around, we always end up doing something like a paint and sip or like beat the bomb. Like, I know some people are moving away from it, but people in Generation Z like to have a drink while they're doing stuff. So we have like a lot of adult game nights.
Y'all have it so tough in life. Y'all have to drink your way through life.
We gotta drink our way through. We gotta have a margarita on side of whatever activity we're doing.
Why are you drinking at the batting cages? You're
everywhere.
You're painting right now. Do you need wine?
Yes.
Just drunk bowling. There's like, I mean, there's everything you can think of. They come up with a drinking version of it, and it's just crazy. Yeah.
Drinking's involved.
Jim, I don't think Carly understands how lucky her generation is, because Houston wasn't always this cool, fun place. It wasn't.
No. I mean, even out like in Humboldt, Kingwood, where I lived, I mean, there was a lot of space that now everything's all filled up. Houston's got so many great things. And for me, I'm seeing a lot of my generation hanging out like at breweries, craft breweries, and because I mean, I still play music, still play acoustic music, so I play at a lot of these places, and I see that's where the generation kind of hangs out there. And they also do the Top Golf, the things where you can kind of really relax, and you don't have to do all that dancing at 200 BPMs a minute or whatever. You can have something that's just chill and hang out with the family.
So true. I think millennials lose this one, right? Because we're kind of in that zone where we have younger kids right now. So we're hanging out at practices, we're hanging out at, hangouts with other parents. So we're kind of in that bad zone. We don't have the older kids like you, Jim, where you can go escape for a while. And Carly, you're young and you're experiencing all these great things that we've already done. Millennials, on the other hand, a lot of practices, a lot of sitting in gyms. But when we're not doing that, it's a lot of, playing sports still, because we still can. Like, we still are a little young enough. We can go to the pickleball places. We can go hang out and meet up for those. And then we also have a little bit of disposable income. So we're going to concerts, we're going to the big shows, and we can take advantage of things that are a little bit more expensive when you're in your 20s, right? So we can take advantage of it now. So with all that being said, I think millennials lose this one.
Well,
me too.
Yeah.
I think we still go to concerts, but I just go to see people at the Woodlands concerts, like with the older artists like Willie Nelson.
Yes.
But it's tough to get up that hill. I see a lot of people with canes trying to get up the hill.
I'm telling you, the drive is exhausting now.
Yes.
So
oh yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I think you win by default because you're still in your 20s, Carly. This is a fun time for you. You get to experience all the great things the city now has to offer.
Yes, I love it.
True.
I love it. So there we go. A point for Carly. I already told y'all I was winning this chat today, so I'm not surprised.
Things are about to get tough for you because let's talk about career opportunities. Which generation has the most options in Houston when it comes to career? Jim, you go first.
Well, it is kind of tough, but there are some companies out there still that really like people that have experience. It got to a weird part where, Carly's generation was winning. Is like, hey, we just want new, fresh. But the last couple jobs I've been in, they really kind of relied on experience. And it's good to have it. You don't want to work like 30 years and all of a sudden no one wants you, even though you have all this experience and wealth of knowledge. So I think Houston is accepting of experience, and it is a good place for Gen X right now. But is it the best? I don't know.
Yeah. It's tough, right? Because you're at that point where you've got all this experience, you've got this wealth of knowledge, you've got a bigger salary. And for Gen Xers, I think this applies across most cities, but it's good to hear that still there's a little bit of hope here in Houston. This is why millennials are rocking this one. Like, millennials are at that point. We're in the sweet spot. There literally is a sweet spot in the workforce, right? Where you have just enough experience. You can get through the door with a really good resume. I don't have to apply for 900 jobs like Gen Zers do because I've heard some horror stories. And Houston has been great to me.
Yeah.
I got here in 2007 and my first job out of college was in the top 10 market doing sports radio. Since then, I've changed careers twice. I've always been able to find jobs. And I'm so grateful for that. Houston has afforded me so many opportunities. And to me, like still right now, I feel like my generation has a really good career opportunity / workforce opening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I will say, okay, my generation, we are some go-getters, so I will say that. But y'all do have points about like it is harder for Gen Zers to get jobs because people like to go off of experience. Like even intro level jobs, like they still want you to have like, oh, 3 internships that you did already or something like that. So it is a little tougher. But where I will say that my generation has some leeway is remote jobs. The pandemic happened.
Oh
And
yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
now we can work anywhere from whatever city
So
we
can
want to be
we.
in. Well,
Hold
yes,
on, hold
yes,
on.
but
We can all work remotely.
but that
Carly, this
happened in
isn't
my
just a
generation though.
Gen
So we're
Zer
claiming
thing.
no, we're taking that one. It happened
No,
during
no, no,
my
no, no,
generation.
no. Hold on. You don't get to take something that a global pandemic put on us, okay?
Yes, that is for us. That is to help us out because we were struggling, like literally struggling. So the pandemic definitely made it possible for us to like open the market up a lot more to different places and different opportunities. So that's great for us. But
Yeah, great for
yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
Great for everyone.
great for everybody. Okay.
Jim, I'm going to put you on the spot because in the hierarchy, you're the boss, okay? Who
Okay.
would you rather hire, a Gen Zer or a
Ooh.
millennial?
Ooh, that's kind of tough because I
Ooh.
was in radio when I had some millennials that were like the Gen Z position, and they were like, I'm never going to get old. And now the millennials are getting a little bit older, and they kind of, I won't say you guys don't hate Gen Z. You're just like, I was there, and I was the hot thing, So I probably would hire a millennial only because they're more grounded in Houston with the family.
No, Jim.
Sorry about that. But I would tell the Gen Zer, I say, hey, go get the experience, go get management experience, go run a radio station in Waco or Lubbock or whatever. Go do what you have to do and come back.
And that's kind of tough. Like we're talking about broadcast, right? Specifically,
Yeah.
it's tough because the market is bigger. So it's not the best for a recent grad or somebody with 5 years of experience or less, right? It's harder. You can definitely do it, but it's definitely harder. So with that being said, millennials right now, career opportunities, we got it best. Come on.
We'll give it to you, Raheel, I
But
guess.
Gen Z has more years, though. If we can get them in the door now, and they can be with us for 30 years, and we can see the opportunity of like really taking this person and making them
for sure. But I'll just hire somebody from Idaho because Carly keeps saying that remote working is the best. So I'm going to get some kid from Idaho now.
Or you can do that. Yeah, you could do that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, one thing that goes hand in hand with careers is the cost of living. Okay, this is very important. Which generation gets the best bang for their buck with the cost of living?
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got 4 kids, so it kind of cancels out. Two of them are on their own right now, but also there's paying for college and stuff like that. So my whole situation is completely different. But if you're just talking about food and gas and all that stuff,
I think like all that is even for us. But I'm thinking more like for you as a Gen Xer, you do have 2 kids now who have moved out. And yes, you're worrying about college, but your house, you've put a lot of money into it now. You probably bought it at a way better price than we're buying them right now. So you're kind of reaping the benefits of getting in early.
Yes. I mean, I have like 8 more years left. Well, I won't tell you what I spent, but I do know it's worth $100,000 at least, or $150,000 more than it was, and I didn't spend that much, 20 years ago. So yes, that's a big part, and that's one thing I would say too. That's probably the best investment you can make is to buy a house instead of renting, just kind of throwing your money away in an apartment. If you can buy a house,
if you can, for sure, and that's the hard thing. It is hard to buy a house right now, right?
Yeah,
the interest rates are crazy. The cost of living has gone up. Rent is expensive. Carly, on this one, I'm not going to talk trash because this sucks. It's hard for Gen Zers right now. Tell me, how hard is it?
I don't even want to talk about how bad housing is. Like the affordability is like super, it's not there. I mean, in Houston, it's a better market than other cities, of course. But I will say like where Gen Z has a good like up with this is that like we have a lot of access to a lot of information now.
Mhm.
Going back to the online thing, we can get online and we have a lot more information, like whether it's TikTok or YouTube, you can judge those apps or not, but we know how to like save money now. We know how to like start investments and things like that now. So I think like our generation has that up to where they'll be set up later on in life,
100%. Yeah.
versus everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. Without a doubt. That is a great point.
Yeah.
Jim, I don't know about you, but like the first 10 years out of college for me, I didn't even know like what a high interest savings account or 401k.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
So no, you definitely have that going for you. So like you will be way ahead of the curve. But when it comes to like cost of living, car insurance, paying for a car if you have a payment on it, y'all are kind of getting screwed on this because things have gotten more expensive. There's no denying like inflation is real. And you're also at a point in your career where you're not making as much as the millennials and the Gen Xers. So you're kind of like, I feel for y'all.
Yeah, definitely screwed. But I feel for you too, though, because you still live in this economy. So it's like,
I think Gen Z has a great advantage. I think all the Gen Zers in my house, they know so much, like you said, about TikTok, but not only that, apps. My daughter saves so much money using apps and getting rewards points and all this kind of stuff for these different stores and stuff like that. And you guys pretty much just use apps to get through life. Oh, you don't have this app, which is kind of a new way of thinking, especially for someone like me.
No.
And another thing, like what I just thought about when Jim just mentioned that, like a lot of Gen Zers stay at home with their parents. They don't pay rent, So that's a whole nother situation.
That was true for my generation too. After college, because I just was not making enough money in a radio salary out of college. Like it was hard to pay rent. So I had to stay at home. But then things got better. We were very lucky being able to buy cars under a 2% interest rate, which was amazing. Gas was relatively cheap. I don't think I ever had to like think about how expensive is gas. I just filled up gas. Eating out was affordable. Buying big ticket items felt okay to do, although it's really good right now. Like you can buy a brand new 85-inch TV for like $1,300. You know how much, Jim, do you remember how expensive TVs were?
Yes, definitely. But you're right, real quick on the other side of that too, as my kids were on my auto insurance, I don't make them pay until like they get a real job. So all through college, all the way up to like 26, 27, I was doing the auto insurance. So I guess take advantage of your parents while you can.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I don't know who wins on this one, though. I don't.
I would give that to Jim, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to go Jim because I think because the equity that you built up with the cost of living with your house and your now kids are getting off of your payroll. My kids are just getting on my payroll.
Yeah. It never ends.
It never ends. I know. I know. Yeah. So I'm going to go with our Gen Xers on this one. Okay. This is going to be an interesting one. Maybe we'll hear some horror stories from Carly because I hear them all the time online and I see it on social media. Dating. Who's the most lucky in love in Houston?
Well, it's not me. So, I mean, we can just...
Jim, a lot of my friends, I'm at that age where, people are getting divorced. So they're finding love again.
Yeah. I DJ weddings and I've DJ'd the same wedding for like the same person. I'm like, don't you want a different DJ?
No way.
Is this your second wedding? I'm like, I'm bad luck. The first wedding didn't work. Why would you hire me? And the wife to be said, well, they said you're really good. I'm like, well, okay.
Okay. How hard is it, Carly?
I mean, I feel like in-person dating is almost impossible. First of all, Houston's huge. It's such a big city. It's so hard to like get out there, meet people that are like genuinely like good connections and things like that. There's not that whole thing like, how your friend will hook you up with somebody like back in the day and stuff like that. That's not a thing for real anymore.
Oh, no way.
So it's just kind of like dating apps. People are relying on dating apps and I'm just like, I really can't get into a dating app. I'm scared of those things. So like that's what a lot of people do. And the culture is just not good surrounding that. I don't really see very many marriages coming from it, but I do hear about that though. So I have met people who said they met on a dating app, they got married. Great. And I love that you have access to people like everywhere in the US, all over the world, if you want to like date in different countries and all of that. But dating is trash.
Dating is trash.
It's trash.
Wow. I'm so sorry.
Have you tried the dating app? Have you tried it and had a bad experience, or did you just not try it at all?
Yeah, I've tried. I lost a bet and I had to download an app. So I tried it for a few months. I maybe went on like maybe 1 or 2 dates from it, but like it never ended up anything. Like I never like talked to those people afterwards or anything like
Yeah, I
that.
hear horror stories all the time. It's
Yeah.
bad out there. My generation, like obviously I'm not dating now, I'm married. All jokes aside, there are people who are dating who are in my generation, and they keep telling me the same thing. It's hard out there because everyone is just so used to dating apps, and it's more of a hookup, right? Like, hey, cool, like I met you, you're attractive, let's meet up. There's not the act of actual dating and courting, it seems like.
Yeah.
To me, I think we got lucky as millennials because when I was in college, Facebook started. So like early days of social media, you had it, right? But then you also had more in-person stuff. Like the way we would hang out wasn't like, hey, we're just going to talk online and just send reels all day. It was, I would call you and be like, hey, you want to hang out Friday? Cool. I'll meet you there at 8:00. And you would meet that person at 8:00. And you were just in person with more people and you hung out and you went on first dates and had awkward exchanges. And people weren't always on their phones, so they weren't standoffish either. So people were just more open, it felt like, to hanging out and trying to get to know somebody.
I've been married for like 33 years. So what my oldest kid is 32, my youngest is 19. So we always get the same thing is like, is it the same mother? Is it the same father?
Oh.
Because usually some of my age are
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 marriages in. So dating for my age is usually based upon a lot, Facebook is old. So a lot Facebook stuff like that. I've done some marriages for like some friends that hooked up on Facebook. And then also, like you said, those senior dating apps and all those stuff, because they have a dating app for every demographic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're so stuck on like the access that it actually has made it a problem. Like people ghost people because they feel like there's so many options. You can just get online, you can talk to anybody. And I think that that's what's caused the issue. Like nobody's in the grocery store anymore just bumping into you. Like, I don't know. It sucks.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm not in that. But I definitely think it's a young person's game. So I think Gen Z definitely wins on that one.
I feel like this is a wash. I think it
Really?
Yeah, I think this is a wash because Carly makes it sound like it is not good for Gen Zers. And it's tough out there. But here's what I would say. If you are looking for somebody, try to do it in person. Find them at a place that you have a mutual connection to. So if you like working out, if you like playing bingo, you like playing pickleball, whatever it is, go there and hopefully that person has that genuine interest for it. And that's where you make that connection and you build it around something you both enjoy. Or you can sign up for CityCast Houston Neighbors, our new membership program. I'm going to put a plug in and you can meet people who have a love for your city like you do. And you can meet them at a membership event only. So I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Membership.citycast.fm.
Yeah, me and Brooke are single, so come find us at this point.
Yeah.
Last one, quick one, okay? What does your generation complain about still when it comes to Houston?
I mean, it's got to be traffic, only because the thing about it was when I went down to U of H when I was young, it was like they didn't have the big wide 59, coming from Kingwood, Humble, where I lived. And now they do, and it's a lot better, but still people complain about traffic.
Always.
It's going to back up. And that's the number one complaint, I think, among Gen Xers.
Mine is housing prices because millennials grew up in a time where Houston was so affordable. You would hear people getting 5-bedroom houses for $350,000. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. Like, I can't wait to do that. That's going to be hopefully in my budget. And then when you get to this age, you're like, I want that 5-bedroom house. And you go, how much is it? 800,000? Like, what happened to housing prices? What happened to this promise of Houston being so affordable and specifically the suburbs? Suburbs, the ones that we were looking at is not affordable anymore. I grew up in Sugar Land. I always wanted to live in Sugar Land, but I got priced out. Like, it's hard. So my generation still complains about housing prices.
I think my generation complains about people. Like, we have a really big cancel culture. Like, no, but hear me out. Cancel culture is huge in Gen Z. Like, as soon as you piss them off, it's on the internet. They're going to try to get people to rally against you. So, like, it's definitely a cancel culture, especially like with our politicians.
I do believe that because I'm very, on my social media, I don't put anything political or anything that could be perceived as political because you don't want to be like canceled out. Like, and I was very careful on the radio too, when especially the days at the box and everything I said.
By the way, Jim used to work at 97.9 The Box, was Jimbo.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't want to age you or anything, but I grew up listening to you, Jim. So,
me too. Me too.
Yeah. So definitely.
Yes. Thank you. I was very careful what I said because I know we talked about a lot of tough topics and I didn't want anybody to perceive that I was like, insensitive in any way. So especially the last few years, because like I said, cancel culture was very real. So
very real. Yeah.
Okay, shout out to the boomers. I know we didn't talk about y'all in this conversation, but maybe y'all are the real winners. You've been holding it down for such a long time. But let's wrap this up and pick a winner for this conversation. Be honest. Jim, you start first.
Okay, well, I think the winner just by default is probably Gen Z because you have youth and your whole life in front of you.
We're talking about right now. Right now.
No, but that's just an overall, hey, But
for
no,
sure.
The winner is, I think it is Gen X because we have experience. We've built a life, funded a house, had kids, have family. We get to watch now our kids and grandkids kind of grow up and form their own kind of life and what they want to do too. So it is a good time of life. I loved having young kids, and if you see my social media, I always put up like Throwback Thursday, always when they're like 3 or something like that.
Oh.
But I think Gen X, you get to look back on all that. So I think we win. Yeah.
I'm going to still go with, drumroll please, me. I'm going to go with Gen Z because when we're looking at the question of like who has it best in Houston, I think cities are geared towards younger people. The things that they're bringing into the city are kind of like established to be like, okay, we're trying to get people to come out to this. And, like you said, Raheel, you are at practices with your daughters and you're not going out to these places. Like Jim said, he's either at the house or the beer garden. So everything else is more so the restaurants, all the different things they bring in is like kind of geared towards making Gen Z comfortable, move here and settle their life here. So I'm going to go with Gen Z.
And I hope tons of Gen Zers move here because that means more people to grow with the city of Houston. I'm going to say millennials. We're in that sweet spot where, we do have the kids. So we have things to look forward to as they're getting older and they get to enjoy the city. We're not going through the struggles of our first few jobs out of college and, surviving with that. Luckily, I'm so fortunate here. And maybe this is just my experience, but I feel like we're in that sweet spot where also, we got to do all the stuff that Carly was mentioning, right? Going to Midtown and going to the Red Door and trying to, talk our way in and all that stuff. But we can also enjoy some more expensive things now. And I think millennials have it the best right now in Houston. We're taking advantage of what the city has become.
Yes.
So with that, I think every generation has it great here.
Yes,
and that's what makes Houston so beautiful. And that's why we love H-Town so much.
Everyone's a winner.
Jim, thank you so much. Carly, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was great.
That was Jim Kovacik. He's the executive producer for Hello Houston on News 88.7 and producer Carlignon Jones. I need to ask you a really important favor. Please help us better serve you with CityCast Houston by giving us feedback through our listener survey. This helps us better understand you and what you need from our show. It only takes 7 minutes, and after you finish, you can enter to win a $250 Visa gift card and some CityCast Houston swag. Take it at citycast.fm/survey or click the link in our show notes. Also, help us grow the show by sharing this episode with 3 people in your generation. And be sure to subscribe to CityCast Houston to get episodes in your feed every weekday. And check out our daily newsletter, Hey Houston, for more news, events, and hacks to live your best Houston life. That will do it for today. I'm Raheel Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and shout out to my fellow millennials.
Why don't you go first? You probably have a good place, huh?
I don't. Let me think about it.
I'm trying to think too.